Craig is in here, like all good Craigs do.
What?
Would you like to count us down?
1, 2, 3 podcast.
What was with the giggle that you did?
Laughing at myself.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
Ooh, I get it.
Get it? Because we're playing the game. Well, we're not playing the game, but
Some people are.
It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about control. And if you can take it, it's all about
I have dogs roaming the basement.
It's all about pain. And who's gonna make it? I am the game. You don't wanna play me. I am control. No way you can shake me. I am heavy death. No way.
My time is still a better theme for Triple H, I think.
And I know you can't take me. Over your shoulder, ready to run like a Cleveland bang from a smoking gun. I am the game and I make the rules. So move on out, you can die like a fool. Try to figure out what my move's gonna be. Come on over, sucker, why don't you ask me? Don't you forget there's a price you can
I figure we'll get the first verse out of the way.
the game and I want to play.
I was just drinking water too, and I wanted to spit it.
Time to play the game. Greetings and welcome.
Episode 24 of Attempted Topics.
Ooh.
I am Jeremy.
And I am Steven.
I was too excited about Jigsaw. Yes, a brief introduction to the episode. So in Saw 2, when he introduces the group to the gas house or whatever it's called,
Mm-hmm.
he says greetings on the tape, and he sounds really excited about it. So
His favorite
It was
game.
he's like, greetings and welcome. So today we will be discussing the 2004 film. Dog's barking upstairs already. We'll be discussing Saw from 2004, directed by James Wan, written by James Wan, and written and starring Lee Wan-il,
Mm.
who have both gone on to do, I want to say better things, but have done great things in the horror genre.
Sure have.
Wan has also directed Silence, Insidious 1 and 2, The Conjuring 1 and 2, Aquaman, and one of the Fast and Furious movies that I did not see because I don't like those movies. But
Same.
and Lee Wan-il has gone on to direct. I think he did Insidious Chapter 3.
Yikes. No, just kidding.
He did Upgrade and The Invisible Man.
Upgrade. I remember that movie.
And like Terminator,
Yeah. I like
not like a ripoff or anything. So, one of the more intriguing things about James Wan, his height is 5'3", so he's giving hope for all of us short guys out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 5'6", so James Wan is 5'3" and doing great things. Just
I think
imagine I could do.
I think I'm 5'7". That might be why I'm not doing great things.
Well, so you got to be like 5'3" and under to do great things.
5'3" to 5'6".
You act like I'm doing great things too. All we do is host a podcast.
And have a daytime job.
One day, this podcast will pay the bills, and we won't have to work a day in our lives.
Duh.
So I don't know if you're aware of this, but Saw was a 15-minute short film
Yeah,
directed by James Wan and Lee Wanell. And
I actually learned that the other day.
so, side note, I'm on Lee Wanell's IMDb page, and he is only 5'6".
Mm.
We had a couple of short guys in this.
See, my theory.
Yeah, so 5'6" and under. We're in good hands. I don't know if we're in good hands, but so yeah, Saw was a short film from 2002 or 3 or something like that.
Did you watch the short film?
I watched it years ago.
I did not see it even when I found out. I should have looked at it, but I didn't.
Yeah, it's like 15 minutes or something like that, and they filmed it just to give the studio an idea of what they wanted to do. It's actually 9 minutes long.
Mm.
E1L is also starring in it, and he plays David instead of Adam. And David is in a reverse bear trap, and it's like short scene with the reverse bear trap. But,
The most iconic trap
yeah.
for some reason.
So I wanted to give like a brief story about my first time watching Saw. I was 12 years old.
Mhm.
I stumbled upon it on Sci-Fi one night. I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna sit in the living room by myself on a Saturday night and watch Saw," and it scared me. It was, it was it's probably one of the most like terrifying um, movie experiences I've ever had.
Mm.
The reverse bear trap scared me the most, and the pig mask scared me the most. Like, for some reason, it wasn't the puppet or anything, it was the pig mask that scared me the most. Because like, to see that thing crawling around,
Yeah.
and then you just turn around, and then it's, like, creeping up behind you.
I popped out of the closet.
And, next day, I think we went to, Kmart, and I bought the, DVD collection of Saw 1 through 3.
Mm. Shout out and rest in peace.
Yeah, to Kmart.
I remember
This episode
Kmart fed my High School Musical addiction because I could not find the DVD anywhere, and it was found at Kmart.
we're also the only place who sold the theatrical version of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Oh yeah,
Everywhere else had the director's cut. But yeah, I got the DVD of Saw 1 through 3. Because 4 was currently in theaters at the time. And I watched Saw 2 and 3 on Christmas morning.
See,
So,
I don't like buying box sets because they always release more sequels and then they have to update it and all that.
yeah, that's what they did with the Halloween box set I have.
The only way I would buy a box set, I would buy like I think I have the Nightmare on Elm Street collection, but it doesn't. I don't think it has the remake in it or Freddy vs. Jason, which is fine. Or it might have Freddy vs. Jason. I don't know, but it'd be different if there's like remakes and that are not included in the box set. But when you're continuing the story, then I would want them all in the same box set.
Yeah, like if they had a box set of like Rob Zombie's Halloween movies, like
Yeah,
we know we're not going to get another one of those, so like that's fine.
yeah.
But like I have the box set of Halloween. It has 1 through Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and then we had the other one come out in 2018, and we have more coming out in the future. So the
Mhm.
box set is very incomplete.
Yes.
Um, so so what are your thoughts on Saw? Because I think it works very well as a standalone movie, even though there are a lot of plot holes.
Mhm.
I'm down the rabbit hole at this point. I just finished Saw 5 this morning. So I watched the first
Oof.
one for the podcast and took notes and everything.
Yes.
And I watched been watching the series throughout the week. And we'll do a ranking at the end of the episode, so we don't have to do that now. And
Yeah.
like in the description for wherever you're listening to the podcast, I'll put a timestamp of when we begin our ranking of the movie, so you can find that if that's why you're here for the episode. If you want to hear us rank the Saw movies for a few minutes. um, but yeah, I'm down the rabbit hole. I enjoyed Saw 5 because I'm a big fan of the Detective Hoffman character,
Yeah.
and Saw 5 is like where he really begins to get his arc. The end of Saw 4, it's revealed that he's an apprentice. He's at the very beginning of Saw 3, and Saw 5 is where we get like a lot of his backstory. So I enjoyed Saw 5. It's nowhere near as good as the first one, but
I think. Yeah, I really like Saw 5 too. I think that's up there, if not my
um,
favorite one.
it's probably top 3 or 4 for me. Um, but yeah, I'll get into the details of the sequels when we rank them.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like they took the worst parts of the first movie and just made a franchise out of it, because we're like completely taken away from like the thriller aspect
Mhm.
part of it. But yeah, what did you think of Saw?
Yeah, I noticed it moved kind of slower than I remembered,
Yeah,
and that they introduced a lot of characters throughout the movie. Like, we'll be
with
like,
odd names.
yeah, like you'll be like 30, 40 minutes in, and you're introduced to new people.
Hmm.
I like it. It reminded me of a music video,
Yeah, there's a lot of like speeding up and
yeah,
slowing down and like weird colors.
especially the bear trap.
It's like green.
Hmm. And the way when she was escaping.
um,
Which, side note, I think that the bear trap should have worked because we would have avoided unnecessary drama and an unnecessary character for 2 extra movies.
yeah. So Amanda comes back, who's the girl in the reverse bear trap. She comes back for Saw 2 and 3.
The worst
Um,
character.
we're gonna spoil the whole franchise. So I mean, if you haven't seen the entire franchise and you plan to, watch it and then come back or something, because we're gonna spoil the entire thing. Um, but like for how I'm looking at Saw for this episode, I'm looking at it as just like one movie.
Hmm.
But so I texted you the other day about a theory that I had about Saw,
Yeah.
because there is a huge plot hole. I don't know how they missed, and I don't think they had plans on addressing it in a sequel. But I feel like they had to, so they did, because James Wan and Lee Wanell. Well, I don't know if James Wan did, but I know Lee Wanell he wrote two and three. Um, and the plot hole that I'm talking about is Adam, who's played by Lee Wanell. He's
Hmm.
given like absolutely no instructions on what to do,
Yeah.
and he plays the game correctly. He like tries to figure out everything that's going on. Um, Dr. Gordon does not complete his mission. Um, and Lee Wanell is still punished for it.
Yeah, I actually did write that on my notes.
So, I mean, we're gonna get into the plot, so I guess we can start because the very first thing in the movie is what you see is Lee Wanell in the bathtub, and he wakes up, and the water makes him jump or whatever. I've never woken up in a bathtub, so I don't know what the proper reaction would be.
Maybe it was
But
very cold.
yeah, I mean that's what I would assume, or the fact he might have just breathed in water and woke up from
Yeah.
it. But, like in the opening seconds of the movie, we see the key that he is supposed to use to get out. We see it go down the drain.
Mm-hmm.
So the theory I had that I text you about is that I think um, Adam was supposed to be able to walk around the room for the duration of the movie. I don't know, like I don't know if that's like fact because I don't really know if they had any plans on having him be able to do that anyway.
Yeah.
Um, but that's the idea I got because he was given the key, and when he wakes up, it just goes down the drain. So, like, why would you give him the key if you don't expect him to get out?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, maybe it would have made the game easier if he had the key and it did not go down the drain.
it would have made Dr. Gordon like more hostile um toward Adam. He was supposed to kill him, and then like if you see this guy being able to wander around the room,
Yeah.
make him more angry at him and have more incentive to kill him. But I also don't know, like, I don't know what advantage Adam would have had to wander around the room. But um, so Adam and Dr. Gordon are like they wake up in a dark room, and there's a corpse laying in the middle of the floor, and the corpse is holding a tape recorder.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the fact that the tape recorder is in the room and that they have to struggle to reach the tape recorder also makes me think that Adam was supposed to be able to walk around the room.
Yeah, I see it.
We find out in Saw 3 that Amanda helped John, who is Jigsaw, helped him set up that trap. And Amanda is being tested throughout Saw 3. It's like the plot twist. The plot twist at the end is that she was being tested the entire time to keep him alive.
And she
And
failed. No.
Jigsaw like lectures her and tells her that her games were unwinnable. When he says that, there's a clip of her throwing the key onto Adam in the bathtub. So I think Jigsaw was aware that she, whether it was on purpose or not, she sabotaged the game so that Adam wouldn't be able to unlock his chain.
Yeah.
But
A lot of them do unwinnable stuff.
yeah, John is the only one that makes his games winnable, and that's also
Even
addressed
though-
in the sequels.
Even though I feel like some of those games are ridiculously unwinnable.
Yeah, and since he's not a killer, the dog is just rolling around the floor like crazy. Since he's technically not a killer, and he gives his people a chance to escape. It's weird that when Amanda is in the reverse bear trap, she has to kill somebody.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm thinking that the guy that she has to kill played a game before
Mm-hmm.
and didn't win, and he was like, already had that like drug in his system that made him not be able to feel anything.
Yeah.
It's the only thing it's the only way I can justify him just having people there to kill.
Yeah, I guess so, unless the person was so awful.
Unless the movie's just filled with these plot holes that I'm just trying to make way too much sense out of.
Yeah.
But but I do think that the Adam plot hole that I was referencing does make sense in a lot of ways for him to be able to wander around the room, but Amanda sabotaged his game. She also goes back and suffocates him to put him out of his misery.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of letting him go, she suffocates him.
Yeah, I saw
Because
that.
I guess she just feels bad about him sitting in the room for eternity, so she just suffocates him.
You could have just let him go.
So like I said, we're introduced to Adam and Dr. Gordon, who wake up in a room, a disgusting, vile bathroom that makes no sense that it would exist anywhere.
Yeah. Ugh.
There's toilets with no stalls. There's showers and there's a bathtub.
It's like all thrown together
This place makes no sense.
in sick fashion.
I do like some of Adam's like comedic relief.
Yeah.
When he wakes up, he's just like, oh, I'm probably dead.
Yeah,
And
I like him.
and Dr. Gordon is like, you're not dead, I've been awake for a while.
Yeah, Dr. Gordon's super serious. And
Yeah.
Adam is
So
like a
so Cary Elwes plays Dr. Gordon, and he is he's struggling in this movie.
I'm not a
That's all.
fan of that character.
He's like trying to put on a good performance, I think, but he's not succeeding.
Oh, there was
I think
one moment where I actually laughed. Much later on in the movie when he gets the phone call and he starts cussing out the guy on the phone, and
Yeah.
then it's actually his wife, and then he completely flips and he like gives sad eyes.
Yeah, crap. I think your name's Allie, right?
Yeah.
He's like yelling, and he's like, Allie?
Immediately. Yeah, that part was funny.
And there's another scene later on where he's like screaming, whoever's on the phone, or he's screaming at somebody. And he's like, show them to me.
Oh yeah.
And he's trying, but he's not doing a good job.
No, his foot after he cut his foot off, I thought he did a good enough job.
Yeah. I feel like he was just miscast.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't see him again until Saw 3D.
Yeah.
I think he was supposed to return for a sequel, and like something happened where he didn't get fully burst for his role in Saw. Yeah, he sued the company, and they sued him, and just didn't work out.
Drama.
Also, forgot to mention, very early on in the movie, I believe it was the first movie that is produced by Twisted Pictures.
Oh yeah.
It's like the name of a company that's like trying too hard to be edgy.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was like literally just for those movies.
I think it is. Because I haven't. The only time I've ever seen a Twisted Pictures logo was in Saw.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up right now, but there's a few other ones. Spiral is from Twisted Pictures. A romantic comedy called Yes Man.
Oh jeez.
Dead Silence
Oh, that's
is
what I was gonna
Twisted
say.
Picture.
I think I saw it in dead silence.
Makes sense because it's a James Wan movie. Um, yeah, there's a few of them. I mean, I'm not gonna list like all the movies, but
So
there's
maybe
quite a
they
few.
have.
Most of them are Saw. Like there's a movie called Catch Hell.
Mm,
All the Saw movies, movie called Catacombs, however you say it. Repo. Yeah. Most of them are Saw movies.
so they are a legit company.
Yeah.
Still thriving.
So, Dr. Gordon like reaches around and finds the light, and like the lights come on in like an iconic way where you see like each bathroom light turn on. Um, I think it's, and I might be looking too deep into this, but I think it's a like symbolism for like a a rebirth or whatever.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
I might be looking too deep into this, but yeah. That's what I think of it at this point. Um, so
Given deep meanings to the bathroom light.
the bathroom in Saw has a lot of symbolic meaning. So
Yes, the toilet represents grim futures.
the crappy life that they've lived before. um, so a man is in the middle of the room and he's dead with a tape recorder and a gun. He like himself. Um, Adam is cracking way too many jokes for this type of situation
Mm-hmm.
because they're like trying to get each other's names, and Adam just like, my name is very fucking confused, and he like lifts up his shirt and he's like, this is how they get you. You wake up, you wake up in a bathtub and your kidneys are on eBay.
Yeah, I was like, what in the world is he doing?
And Dr. Gordon is like obviously he's like, if your kidneys were taken, you would be bleeding and you'd be in a lot of pain. And that's when we find out that Dr. Gordon is in fact a doctor. Because Adam is like, what are you, some kind of doctor? And he's like, yeah, actually I am. Um, they're like trying to figure out why the heck we're here, like anyone would.
Yeah.
We're trying to get some clues. Dog is rolling around the room again and flopping her ears. Dr. Gordon realizes that the clock is brand new. And he's like, oh, that must mean that whoever's doing this wants us to know what time it is. There's a lot of like spelling out the plot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I heard someone mention this earlier today because I was watching some YouTube videos. Somebody mentioned how they would like to see James Wan and Lee Wan-el remake Saw with like the knowledge and like the skills that they have today.
Mm,
I think it'd be interesting
yeah.
because I know like Alfred Hitchcock remade. I can't think of the movie off the top of my head, but he remade movies like 20 years down the road. He's like, oh, let me revisit this and remake it.
That would be cool.
I'm sure there's been a lot of cases like that.
That way it
And
feels like a music video.
yeah, and they're both still very involved in the horror genre.
Yeah.
Like James Wan produces a bunch of the Conjuring movies, and I think he wrote The Conjuring 3, which comes out next month. And Lee Wan-el is involved with directed Invisible Man, and he's making another one of the Universal monster movies.
Mm.
So they're very involved in the horror genre. So I'd be interested to see them do that again. I mean, I don't think it'll ever happen, but it's just an interesting idea.
Yeah. Probably not, but it'd be cool. Especially if they're
So
still continuing the series.
yeah. So The guys find envelopes in their pockets. There is a key and a bullet in Dr. Gordon's envelope, and a tape as well. And there's a tape. No, there's two tapes in Adam's envelope. Correct?
I don't know if he just had one. Because I think Gordon
Yeah.
threw him his tape.
Yeah, there's a key, or there's a tape in each of their envelopes. I think. Yeah, because one of them throws the tape.
Or did Adam have the key?
Something. They have keys and envelopes
Yeah.
and tapes and all that.
All that.
So Adam ends up reaching for the tape recorder in Jigsaw's hand. I just spoiled the plot twist. In the dead
Oop.
guy's hand. We're gonna get this out of the way. At the end of the movie, the dead body on the floor rises, and it's actually the man that they know as Jigsaw. So Adam reaches for the tape recorder in Jigsaw's hand. And he plays the tape, and like this is the first time in the series that we hear these tape recordings. And
Great stuff.
he tells Adam that he like sits in the shadows and like watches people and all this stuff. He doesn't give him any instructions on what to do.
No.
Can't remember his exact words, but he says like, figure it out.
I feel like the game was just meant for Gordon.
Yeah.
Adam wasn't allowed to have any chance.
So Dr. Gordon throws his tape across the room to Adam, and on Dr. Gordon's tape,
After unnecessary arguments right away.
Yeah, there's a lot of bickering back and forth about stupid stuff that doesn't need to be yelled about right now.
Yeah.
So he essentially tells Dr. Gordon that like you're a doctor who gives bad news to everybody. You're ungrateful.
You're a flop.
You're irrelevant. We need Jigsaw to use like in Spiral. We need him to use like modern slang.
Yeah.
You try too hard to be relevant, but you're not. You
That'd be great.
You constantly prank people for your TikTok page. You go out in public and prank people without a mask on your TikTok page.
You live a very sus life.
So, where were we? Oh, so the tape tells Dr. Gordon that he has till 6 o'clock to shoot Adam, or his family will die, and he'll be left in the room to rot in a sack. Rot.
Imagine he has to get into a sack.
So the tape mentions that the guy on the floor, had like poison running through his system, and he's like, the only thing you could do when you have that much poison is to shoot yourself, pretty much.
Lots of poison in these series that I feel like doesn't really exist.
Yeah. So yeah, that's essentially where we're at.
So the other guy was poisoned too. But he was actually legitimately poisoned.
Zep.
Yeah.
So I mean, we get some weird names in these movies.
Jigsaw's twin.
I hate that guy. Just because he was annoying on Lost. He was in it way too long, and we're in the series. But it's for another day.
So he got what he deserved, basically.
Yeah.
For ruining a series.
Yeah. So
see, maybe he does curse people for being a flop.
Yeah, like that's your punishment. You ruined Lost. So, on Gordon's tape, we hear like whispering, which never happens again in the Saw franchise. Where there's whispering on his tape that tells him follow your heart.
Mm. Yeah.
So you see a heart written in blood on the toilet, and Adam goes like elbow deep into the toilet trying to find something.
Disgusting. I wouldn't
It's
do
like
it.
it's like a thick brown liquid. Um, so yeah,
Possibly feces.
possibly. Who knows what it is? Um, so yeah, um, they're like, oh, maybe it's in the tank, and it's not in the bowl. But they dig in the tank, and Adam's like, why didn't you mention that before? Um,
No, what a
so so we get like a burlap sack in the toilet, and it has two saws in it, and something that Adam throws into the bathtub that Dr. Gordon can't see, which we'll come back to later. Where are we at? So they take the saws and like immediately start cutting the
Sorry.
chains.
Yeah, they're sawing at the chains, and then Adam's broke. Of course.
Yeah, Adam just has the worst luck out of any character ever.
I feel like if necessary, they could have just sawed off their heels.
Yeah, something.
And slipped out and be like, I'm gonna take my heel and go.
There has to be like this bathroom is very old. There has to be some type of like pipes that are about to rot or something that you can cut and get out
Yeah,
that way. There has to be something.
they were
At
all
least,
very rusty.
at least try, you know? Like they don't
Yeah,
even really try to rip the pipes out of the wall or anything. Like they're trying to cut the chains, cut the locks. Like there has to be something you could do. Find out in Saw 3 that Donnie Wahlberg's character also gets locked in that room to the wall. He like crushes his ankle and his leg to get out.
ugh,
I don't know if you saw that before,
nasty. Yeah,
but I mean, I know that the bathroom is like locked, but I'm surprised there was like no evidence of Adam trying to do that.
yeah. It's like
So
she
yeah,
just gave up.
yeah.
I was waiting for Gordon to come back.
And he said he would, and never did.
What a
So,
jerk.
um, so yeah, Gordon stops and he's like, "They don't want us to cut through our chains. They want us to cut through our legs," which is foreshadowing to the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, Dr. Gordon goes like, he says something like, "I know who's doing this to us," and he's like, I know who this is because I was a suspect." Now, if you use common sense, like Dr. Gordon is like a famous doctor in the area
Mm-hmm.
who's on call like 24/7. I don't think he would have the time to do this.
No.
Like if you just watch him, you'll see him in the hospital most of the time, or home, or cheating with his mistress. Not going to see him in like abandoned warehouses.
Setting up traps and stuff.
Um, so yeah, we get flashbacks, and like this is our first time seeing like any previous traps, and this is what we meant when we said that the movie turns green. It looks like a music video.
Yes.
So in a lot of these flashbacks, it's like I listened to a podcast about I think it was Saw 2 the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and it applies to the flashbacks too. Um, they said it seems like you ate like a whole bunch of kale and just crapped it out and threw it onto the movie, and like that's how green it is.
For what? No reason at all. I guess to make people aware that it's a flashback by putting a filter on it.
Yeah. So it kind of treats Jigsaw as like not a good guy, but he's like, hey, you need to appreciate your life. So the first guy we meet who was in a jigsaw trap, um, he he like cuts his wrist or something. So Jigsaw is like, hey, climb through all this barbed wire. If you want to live, you're gonna have to cut yourself even more, or the door will permanently lock in 2 hours.
I
So
mm-mm.
now I feel like this is a lot easier to get out than this guy makes it.
Unless there's lots and lots of barbed wire in there.
Because I feel like all you have to do is like just move the stuff around. But in the flashbacks, it just shows this guy like like jumping on it.
Yeah.
He jumps on it and just like flails.
Mick Foley would be able to do it.
Mick Foley could do it.
Mick Foley and Terry Funk would have gotten right out of there.
They would have had time to spare. So Jigsaw cuts a jigsaw piece, like a puzzle piece, out of his, the victims after I don't know if after they die or before they die. I think it's before. 'Cause I
Yeah,
think
I think so.
the idea is that he takes a piece of them and it's like
Cherishes it forever.
it's like
No.
hardly ever addressed in future movies that he does this. It's just in this movie. That's what I mean about them taking like the worst parts of this movie and turning it into a franchise.
Yeah, we'll get my ranking's probably gonna irritate people, but we'll get to why I chose some of those later. But I feel like there's only really one other movie that was on par with this one.
Okay. I think there's a
In
few.
a sense where it took the best parts and kind of kept going with that instead of taking all the worst parts or relying on strictly gore to sell the movie.
Hope you don't say Jigsaw.
Mhm.
So so the next guy we see in the flashback, he was like faking having like a terminal illness or something. And this one's just this one's impossible.
I say, since you faked an illness,
Played hooky.
Maybe he faked the same illness that Jigsaw has.
Okay, so this guy, there's a so he has poison going through his system too, correct?
Yeah, everybody has poison.
And there's an antidote in the safe. And there's
Mhm.
like 100,000 numbers written on this wall. And he has to walk around with a tiny little candle and find the combination on the wall. But he has a flammable substance all over his skin.
Some type of random substance.
Like there's no way anybody could do this.
Mm-mm.
This is one that was like designed to fail.
Yeah.
So we're introduced to Detective Tapp and Detective Singh.
What if
Hospital.
they never even had poison in them?
I mean, they might not.
And it's just to try to get them to move. Because I would just sit there and be like, help. The police will get here eventually.
Like Jigsaw would have to come back, and then you could just overpower him and get out if you don't have a poison in your system.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's broken glass all over the floor.
Oh, yeah. All
So
for faking an illness.
yeah. So obviously this guy does not make it. So Detective Tapp and Detective Singh think that Dr. Gordon might be Jigsaw killer.
I'm a fan of
Um,
both of them.
Yeah, they're probably the strongest actors in the movie.
Detective Tapp was my favorite character.
Going forward in the series, they're lucky that they have Tobin Bell and Costas Mandylor to play what's his name, Jigsaw and Detective Hoffman.
Yeah, they're lucky that Tobin Bell decided to stick around the whole way.
Because they carry the franchise to
I like
like.
Jen too.
I don't think she's a good actress.
I'm a fan.
Wanted I do want like a cost or a Detective Hoffman reference in the new movie. Like maybe they find the bathroom. They see that oh, there's Detective Hoffman. He's been dead for 10 years.
Another corpse in there.
Um,
Or a trail leading out.
because the police still haven't found. Um, I saw 7. They still haven't found the bathroom or
Because they
saw
found
whatever.
every single place except the bathroom. So it must be deep
Yeah.
in the depths of something.
In the Saw 2 house.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they've ever found that house. That house, like that house trap is the simplest one. Like you have to be able to get out of that house.
Yeah.
Windows are boarded shut, and they're just like, oh, we're stuck in here.
Yeah, that one. That was just the characters being stupid.
It's not like the house was like encased in concrete. So yeah, Dr. Gordon has an alibi as to why he's not the Jigsaw killer. His alibi is that he was cheating on his wife.
So good stuff.
Meet Amanda, who was in the reverse bear trap. She like tells a story of like what happened to her, and probably like the most iconic trap, like you said, in the franchise.
Mhm.
It's used 3 times. It only works once.
Yes.
Yeah.
One and a half.
Yeah. Also the first time we meet the puppet. So, so how many people would agree with me on this? But I think there are way too many faces of this franchise.
Yeah.
So you have like John Kramer, who's Jigsaw. Like you have the old guy, Tobin Bell. You have the pig mask, and you have the puppet. Just pick one or two.
Yeah, we can get rid of the pig masks.
I feel like the doll just comes from James Wan's obsession with creepy puppets.
Mm.
That's even his Instagram name is Creepy Puppet. Um, yeah, I don't think Amanda could have been able to get out of the bear trap in 60 seconds.
Yeah, that whole thing, I put that in my notes that she did not take a minute to do all that.
She has to cut this guy open. She takes her good old time walking over to him.
Yeah.
Cut him open, dig through his
And then
stomach.
she actually stabbed him numerous times instead of just cutting.
Yeah. He has to dig through like his stomach or his intestines and like find the key, then somehow like lock it, like unattach it to your jaw, and then like get rid of it. I just
Yeah,
don't think she could have done that in 60 seconds.
no, I don't see it.
I don't understand because he's getting everybody else like he gave the barbed wire guy 2 hours. Like the other guy just had until the poison killed him.
It's because Amanda's trash and he didn't want her to live, but she did.
Yeah. So, the puppet tells Amanda in Jigsaw's voice, it's probably one of the most iconic iconic lines in the franchise, where he says, "Most people are so ungrateful to be alive. Not you, not anymore." And when Amanda's talking to the detectives about Jigsaw, she says he saved me, which learn in the next two movies close Amanda and Jigsaw have really become.
A pair.
Yeah. So I forgot to mention when Adam's axe breaks, he throws it at the mirror, and the mirror breaks. So,
Oh yeah.
so now we're back in the bathroom, and Adam and Dr. Gordon are bickering once again. And Adam is like, "I'll cut you with this," and he picks up a piece of mirror, and he's like,
No, wait a second.
he conveniently sees that it's a two-way mirror.
Yeah. He's
So
probably seen him before because he lurks.
yeah, he's a lurker. So they like break the mirror by throwing stuff at it, and they see that there's a camera watching them. And we see from Steph's point of view, he's watching them on the camera, and I think we're supposed to think that Zepp is the Jigsaw killer for like most of the movie.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking too. And he even looked similar to him. I don't know if we
Yeah.
saw or what's in John's face at the time. I almost called him by his actor's name.
What did you say?
I don't think we saw John's face yet, though. But still,
No. They show him, but he's like just a sick guy in the bed, so it's like you wouldn't even think that it's him.
yeah.
So Adam wastes time throwing stuff at the camera. I mean, I don't know what else he's gonna do, but you get another flashback to they're like talking, and he's like, and was like, "What are you thinking?" or something, and Dr. Gordon is like, "Thinking about the last thing I said to my family." I'm like, "Oh God, here we go."
Oh my God, that flashback of the argument with his wife. He doesn't
Yeah.
really want to deal with his child.
So the last thing he says to his daughter is that he'll never leave, which it's like, okay, that's interesting. Then he leaves the room and just immediately starts screaming at his wife.
Yeah.
um
I'll never
so
leave. Leaves immediately.
his daughter like tells Dr. Gordon and his wife that there's a man in her room. She's very calm about it, and the family doesn't take it seriously for some reason.
You're like, no, there's not.
Yeah. So um so yeah, they like investigate. There's no one in the room. We get the scene that we just talked about where like he's like, "I'll never leave," and then immediately starts screaming at his wife. He gets a page from, he tells his family it's the hospital, but it's actually his mistress, and he's going to the hotel room to cheat on his wife.
I wonder why he's here in this bathroom.
Yeah. So we go back to the bathroom. There's a scene where Dr. Gordon is like, "Hey, do you want to see my wife or whatever?" Wife and daughter. And he throws him his wallet. So Adam's looking through Dr. Gordon's wallet, and we see the picture of them tied up into, like, that was placed into the wallet.
hmm Would you have had the picture from him?
I don't know, because I feel like that gives him more incentive to kill Adam.
I feel like I would have shown him because I feel like it would have given him more reason to try to leave faster
Yeah.
before time runs out.
Yeah, because we're really like taking our time in this room.
Yeah, I think he should have showed him the picture so maybe they could escape quicker.
different location to film the movie. So
Yeah.
that's why we're taking our time in the bathroom.
What if the whole movie was just them in the bathroom the whole
I mean, I
time?
think they could have pulled it off if they had better actors doing it, because like it'd be cool. We're in the what am I talking about? We're in the bathroom the entire time. But I don't know. His wife and his daughter tied up. It says something like, "Sometimes you could see better with your eyes closed." So um, it's a note that we'll hold on to for the future.
Keep it forever.
We jump to I think we're at Dr. Gordon's wife's house. And it's Zepp who is holding Dr. Gordon's wife and daughter hostage, and Detective Tapp is watching from across the street. And Detective Tapp is in like a room where there's pictures and like articles of Jigsaw like all over the wall.
Yeah, basically, Jigsaw. He's obsessed with Jigsaw.
Hmm.
And I'm obsessed with the idea of catching him.
So we get another flashback. So um
This is Detective Tapp's flashback, right?
yeah. Mm. Flashbacks get confusing sometimes because in some cases we're in flashbacks inside of flashbacks.
Yeah.
We get a flashback to Dr. Gordon. We get a flashback of like Amanda talking, and in that flashback we get the flashback of the reverse bear trap.
Yeah.
Um, we get a flashback of Detective Tapp and Detective Singh or Agent Singh or whatever his name is, illegally go to the location of Jigsaw.
I
So
think they should
go
have
ahead.
just shot him when the elevator was coming up.
Yeah,
Just shoot him immediately. And
I
be like,
mean,
oh, I don't know what happened.
they're. I guess they have a reason for not shooting him because they're there illegally anyway.
Yeah. Well, might as well just be fully
But
illegal.
like, because they're already like kind of crooked cops anyway.
Yeah. If you're gonna be a
So
crooked cop, you might as well just go all the way and start shooting. Wait, no. Well, let me fix that.
no,
If you're gonna be
no.
if you're gonna be a crooked cop in their case, you might as and they're going after a killer and they're doing illegal means to do it. You might as well just kill the killer.
Yeah, that's better. You have to be very specific.
That's what I meant.
Okay. So in this situation, and you're hunting the Jigsaw killer, you might as well kill the Jigsaw killer.
Yeah. They
Okay.
should have just and they should have just or did something different.
So like yeah, they go there illegally without a warrant. Find a guy like tied to a chair. Did you see there's like a model replica of the bathroom?
Mm-mm. Oh yeah, yeah.
Did you notice on the notes? Crap, I can't remember exactly what it says. Pretty much says that it's like a Saw test prop or something like that.
Mm.
There's a note that literally says like it's a replica for the movie. I don't think that
No,
was
I
supposed
didn't.
to be. I don't think that was supposed to be in the movie.
No, I
So
didn't see that.
think they might have used the toys to like kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like pitch the idea for Saw
Yeah,
and then just put it in the movies like an Easter egg. They accidentally left like a little like the piece of paper that says it was like a prop or something. So yeah, they find a guy tied to a chair. I don't remember what this guy did or why he's there, but there's like nail guns or whatever like going toward his neck.
yeah,
They also find like the pig mask and the puppet for like I think this is the first time it's like that they see it.
yeah. They basically found like everything.
So the like the nail guns end up drilling in, or it's a drill, or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know tools very well. It's about to drill into this guy's neck, and uh, Agent Singh ends up shooting the device. Jigsaw like comes up the elevator or whatever, and this is what we were talking about. Where like I don't know why they didn't try to take him down or anything.
Yeah.
Like they're more worried about saving the guy than they are like getting rid of Jigsaw.
So see, they're not fully crooked. They have
Yeah.
a conscience.
So, they have Detective Tapp has Jigsaw on his knees, and he's like, "Oh, you're sick and you're disgusting," and he's like, "You're right, I am sick," which is like a reference to his cancer.
Yeah.
Um, so a blade comes out of Jigsaw's like coat, and he slices Detective Tapp's throat,
Mm.
and they get into like Sing and Jigsaw get into like a chase where they're like running down the hallway or whatever, and Sing walks into a booby trap and just gets his head blown off.
I hate all of that.
You remember the Saw video game?
Yeah, I never played it though.
It was for 360 and PS3. They had a lot of those booby traps. It's like you would have time to dodge it. Like you would just
Mhm.
be walking and then there's like I'm about to get my head blown off. It was like a quick time thing where you would have like 2 seconds to like hit X and you would dodge it or something.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
but
never.
the
I
first one
never
was
played
good.
this.
Played the first one. I played part of the second one. I didn't like the second one, but the first one was good. So yeah, back in the bathroom, Adam is like, "Hey, we turn off the lights," and they do, and there's an X on the wall that's glow in the dark, and Dr. Gordon ends up like punching the wall to break through it, and there's a box in the wall, and there are cigarettes and a cell phone in the box, but the cell phone we found out the cell phone can only make calls out, or no, sorry, it can only receive calls, but it can't call out.
Which is weird.
And
I didn't know they did that.
and Adam like cracks jokes about how the cell phone is like the greatest invention.
Yeah.
So I
After
mean
the
he's
cigarette.
yeah. um but yeah, I mean he's not wrong about cell phones. They're a pretty good invention, I
Yeah.
think.
Yes. I
Um
use mine all the time.
yeah. So Dr. Gordon, he's like, "Hey, I remember how I got here." I don't know why I just started coming back to him. I did. Um for some reason I'm drawing a blank on how he got captured. 'Cause he was with his that mistress
Yeah.
and he like
He went.
allegedly he tells her that they have to stop or whatever.
Yeah. He was in the parking garage and then there were those flashes. I don't know if he was drugged or what happened.
The flashes were Adam taking pictures of
Yeah.
him.
But I don't know because weren't the pigs by his car.
Yeah. Yeah, because I have it
Pig.
written in here that the pig mask is scarier than the puppet.
I liked that part with the pig mask people.
Um. So yeah, I think it's like he was just in the parking deck and gets like kidnapped by the pig mask. Um.
Mm.
So guys continue to bicker about Adam not telling Dr. Gordon about everything. He's like they're like accusing each other of being a part of this, even though they're very clearly not.
Yeah.
Um.
They always need to bicker in situations like this.
So um, Dr. Gordon is like, "How did you know to turn off the lights?" And he like finally just shows him the picture of his family tied up, and like this begins like the downward spiral of Dr. Gordon.
Yeah.
Once he sees that, he's like, "Oh, this is serious. They're in danger."
And you gotta get out of here. See, that's why I would have showed him before. But then my luck would have got shot immediately.
Yeah. So in the box, there's a note that says something like, "You don't need the gun to kill Adam," and they like try to so they turn off the lights and like whisper so that whoever's watching them can't see what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So the plan is to Dr. Gordon's convinced that the blood on the floor is filled with poison. He dips the cigarette in poison and gives the cigarette to Adam. So like Adam puts on this like terrible performance of him,
Yeah.
of him like um
Dying and
I
being
don't even know.
poisoned. I was like, what in the world is he doing?
Yeah. So Adam is not an actor.
No.
Neither is Lee Wanell for that matter.
Like, this is why he had to take pictures of people and evade
Yeah.
privacy.
Yeah, he's just like choking on the ground, and the what is it like the chain like shocks him, so he's
Yeah.
like he like wakes up and he Dr. Gordon is like, that was our only way out, and he's like he's like, well, I was shocked, so stop it.
Like, I can't relate.
Yeah, so faking it doesn't help. So we're just back to chilling in the room waiting for something to happen. Somehow Adam starts remembering how he got there all of a sudden. So he's a photographer, and I mean, not a photographer. He's like a private investigator, I think is what he is.
A paparazzi.
And he is paid to take pictures of Dr. Gordon. We find out later that Detective Tapp is paying Adam to take pictures of Dr. Gordon. So lights go out in Adam's house, which is probably one of the most probably one of the scariest moments of the film, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he what was I saying? Well, the lights go out in his house, and he's using the camera to like light up the house a little bit. I remember watching this when I was like 12 and I was terrified. And the puppet starts laughing.
I would just
And
run.
yeah,
Right
like
out the
just
door.
leave. Just leave.
Like, it's not
So
worth it.
he goes to the closet and it flashes, and then we see the pig mask that grabs him, and that's how Adam was
In
kidnapped and brought to the
jump
bathroom.
scare fashion.
Yeah. There are very few jump scares in this franchise, but when the only jump scares we get are the pig masks.
Yeah.
So yeah, the phone in the bathroom starts ringing, and it is Dr. Gordon's family on the phone. And I think her name's Allie, I think we said. So
Yeah.
Allie, his wife, tells Dr. Gordon not to believe Adam's lies. So, after they fight some more, Adam finally tells Dr. Gordon that he was taking pictures of him at night, and he knows that he wasn't at the hospital. He was in a hotel room cheating on his wife. And this is where we find out that when Dr. Gordon got that page from the hospital, he was actually getting a page from his mistress.
Mm,
And they meet at the hotel, and he actually tells the mistress that they need to stop.
couldn't say that over the phone.
No. Someone calls the motel room and tells Dr. Gordon that they know who he is and what he's doing. I'm not really sure who that was. I don't know if that was Jigsaw or if it was like Detective Tapp, who it was.
One of his many enemies.
Because Adam was just taking the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we find out that Detective Tapp was paying Adam to take these pictures because Detective Tapp is still convinced that Dr. Gordon was Jigsaw. Even though he met him face to
Yeah.
face and probably had an idea that the voice was not Dr. Gordon's, but
Unless he just assumed that they were voice altering.
yeah, that's possible too. So, Adam and Dr. Gordon get into more bickering, and Adam is like, "Are you mad that I was taking pictures of you, or are you mad that I was taking pictures of you cheating on your wife?" And he's like, "I did not cheat on her."
Batman.
And and Adam is like, "I don't care what you did." His exact words are, "I don't care if you covered yourself in peanut butter and had a 15 hooker gangbang." So, um, Gordon ends up finding out that no, I'm sorry, that is it Detective Tapp that finds out that Zepp is at Dr. Gordon's house? I think he finds out
Yeah.
first,
Mm-hmm.
and I forget how Dr. Gordon finds out that Zepp is at his house, but he ends up knowing. He's like, "Oh, I always hated that guy at work." I forget how he finds out. Do you remember?
No. I don't even
Um,
remember them showing it.
he somehow finds out that Zepp is at the house.
Unless he was on the phone with him too.
So, so we look at the clock, and it's 6 o'clock, and Dr. Gordon ran out of time. This is what I meant earlier when I said that
He failed.
Dr. Gordon failed his game and still did not, like, nothing happened to him about it.
It's not right.
So
He should
his
have
family,
exploded or something.
so his family has to die. Zepp is in charge of assassinating his family, but they like end up escaping conveniently somehow. His wife gets untied and starts fighting, but from Dr. Gordon's point of view, he can't, like, he's very unaware of what's going on. He just hears like fighting.
Yeah.
So
And that's
from his
when
point,
doesn't Detective Tapp go across the street too once he heard the gunshot?
yeah, he hears and sees the gunshots, so he goes across the street. And yeah, to make a long story short, his family escapes, and um there's like a chase between Detective Tapp and Zepp, and Adam is like flipping out in the bathroom. Um, I think he so so while all that fighting is going on at the house, like Dr. Gordon puts on like the worst crying performance I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I think it only happens so he can like throw the phone, and like in his anger, he just throws the phone, and then it starts ringing again, and he can't reach it.
So
So
that's what you get.
so so Gordon like snaps and he like can't reach the phone. So Adam has this great line where he's like, "Lawrence, calm down. There must be a way out of this." Um, so
No, there's not.
so Dr. Gordon, this is like the iconic scene from the movie where Dr. Gordon cuts off his leg, and
Mhm.
it's unique because kind of like this whole movie is like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre and like Halloween in the sense that like you don't see a lot of blood, but
Yeah,
it tricks you into thinking you did.
yeah.
This is like
Unlike
this
all
is
the other ones.
this is like one of the few times where we see like blood in the movie. Like a lot of the graphic stuff is just like said because they say like the guy in the barbed wire found like stomach acid on the floor because the cuts were so deep, but we don't like
Yeah.
actually
See
see
it.
his stomach getting ripped open.
No.
Um, yeah, he cuts off his leg, and this is probably the most graphic scene in the movie. I mean, it obviously is. It's the bloodiest.
Yeah.
Um, so Zepp and Tap arrive in the house with the bathroom. Um, they get into a fight, and Zepp ends up shooting Detective Tap. Um,
It's not right.
so after Gordon um after Gordon cuts off his leg, his skin turns like ghost white.
Immediately.
Like they went overboard with like the color of his skin.
Yeah, it's like he immediately turns white
Yeah.
and he talks all hoarse.
Yeah. Um
It's actually his best performance too.
and it's not even like, I mean, I've never seen someone lose their leg or anything, but I don't think that's how you act if you lose your leg.
Yeah.
Um so like in this scene I took it because they don't show his face, but I think he's like communicating to Adam that he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna shoot you in the shoulder. Just play dead."
Yeah.
So he shoots Adam in the shoulder, and this is when he's screaming. He's like, "I've done it. Now show them to me."
Even though he did it after the time ends.
Yeah, he's like, and it's too late.
Like, you already lost.
um, yeah, Zepp shows up into the bathroom. Um, Dr. Gordon starts like shooting the gun, but there's no more bullets in it. Um, so Zepp has to kill Adam, or no, sorry, Zepp has to kill Dr. Gordon because like in his game he's poisoned and he'll get like like everyone's poisoned in this movie.
I know.
He's poisoned and he'll get the antidote once he kills the family and Dr.
I feel
Gordon, even though he didn't kill the family, so I don't think he would get it.
I feel like nobody's really poisoned.
I don't know, probably not. I mean, that'd be a cool twist where it's like you're not actually poisoned. I just wanted you to all kill each other.
Or it's like I wanted to see if you would stoop so low as to kill a mother and a child.
Yeah,
Like, now you lost your game.
yeah. Get in this reverse bear trap. So
You have
so
30
Adam
seconds to escape.
so Adam ends up grabbing Zepp and like beating him with the lid for the toilet tank.
Yeah.
Um so Adam is like on the ground with like a bullet wound in his shoulder, and Dr. Gordon is like, "It's just a wound in your shoulder. You'll be fine. I'll come back for you." He's like, "You're gonna be
Lie.
okay. You're gonna be okay. I wouldn't lie to you." And he lied because he never came back.
He had the same thing to his daughter too, so we already knew it was a lie.
Yeah. So the plot twist is that Zepp isn't Jigsaw, and the dead body in the room stands up, and Jigsaw's been in the room the entire time.
Mm.
And it's mentioned early on in the movie that Jigsaw likes to watch his games, which we didn't
Yeah.
mention before. We should have mentioned that, but he likes to like creep in through like peepholes and stuff and watch his games. So we get like a brief like montages of him like opening his eyes throughout the game.
I wouldn't be able to sit there.
It's very risky because like what if your stomach growled or something?
Yeah. Well, I
Like-
guess dead bodies make weird movements sometimes like that. But what if I'd probably chuckle?
It's like I don't care if you covered yourself in peanut butter and had a 15 hooker gangbang and then you just hear Jigsaw.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Well, we find out in Saw 3 that Jigsaw actually took like a sedative to put himself to sleep.
Yeah. But
yeah.
still.
And I think that's also how he didn't know that Amanda was sabotaging Adam's game, because he was already like drugged and asleep.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think Adam tries to shoot Jigsaw with the gun too, and
He gets zapped.
yeah, he just gets zapped. And Adam didn't do anything wrong. Like he didn't even have an objective. He just didn't get killed. So
Yeah.
so Adam's game was either either get shot or get locked in the room. Like if you take the movie at like face value like this, that's the only two options he had.
Yeah. Unless if he was able to unlock himself at the beginning, he would have been free.
And then would Jigsaw just let him go?
I guess.
I don't know. I don't understand. That's like a glaring plot hole that I don't understand why they didn't think that through.
It's Amanda's fault.
I mean, that's how they play it off as. So, Jigsaw is like the key to your chain is in the bathtub, and we get a flashback from the opening scene of the movie where the key goes down the drain, and Adam is like screaming, and Jigsaw says "game over" and shuts the door, and then we just hear Adam screaming in pitch black. It's very haunting.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, that's Saw from 2004. Very good if you can ignore like a lot of just banter and glaring plot holes that I don't know how they didn't fix.
Yeah, I like it overall.
Yeah. I'm interested to see where the franchise is going, because Saw is more like 7 than it is the rest of the franchise. And the director of Spiral said that Spiral is more like 7 than a Saw movie. So yeah.
So that hopefully that's good.
Yeah, they're not gonna do like torture porn like the franchise ended up turning into.
Yeah.
At least to my knowledge, I don't think that's what they're doing. I think they're going more like a mystery thriller route than they are horror. So the guy who directed Spiral directed Saws 2 through 4, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So he does have like some.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I like Saw 2.
Yeah.
But yeah. Darren Lynn Bousman, I think is his name. He directed Saw 2, 3, 4, and a bunch of other like to sneeze. Thank you for talking while I was about to sneeze.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. I held it in. Yeah, he directed Saws 2 through 4. So, this will kind of segue into our ranking of the movies. So we'll start here. But do you notice like there's kind of like a consistent look through the franchise?
I think
Like,
the gritty look,
yeah, yeah, like
like the
it
disgusting look.
kind of looks like the same director throughout the whole
Yeah,
thing. So the director of Saw 2 through 4 was like involved with he was involved with Saw the first one. So like he was already familiar with, I mean, kind of familiar with the workings of the movie.
yeah,
And then the director of Saw 5 was also involved with some previous movies in the franchise. I don't know like their exact roles in the movie, but they're involved. And the director of Saw 6 and 7 was involved with previous movies. I think it restarted with Jigsaw. I don't think that guy had any involvement with previous movies. But they
yeah.
for at least the first 7, they kept like a consistent tone because it was like people getting promoted to director.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, you worked behind the scenes for Saw, you can do the next one. It's like, oh, you were behind the scenes for Saw 3 and 4, you can direct Saw 5.
Oh, you were an extra. You could direct Saw 7.
so so yeah, trying to find the director for Jigsaw because I'm wondering if he was involved with anything. Um, he was not, but the Spearig brothers, I think it's how you say their last name. They made Jigsaw.
Mm.
They also made Predestination, which was a fantastic movie in
Oh,
2014,
okay. I
and
don't think I've seen it.
they made Winchester,
Ugh.
which was not a good movie.
No.
So, so I don't know how you want to do the rankings. Do you want to like just go from like your worst to best and give like some brief thoughts on the franchise, or like
Yeah.
like brief thoughts on certain movies?
Yeah, we can go worst to first.
Okay.
Right. I'll go first. So in last place, I have Saw 3D.
Okay.
I don't really like anything about that movie, really. The pink blood, the public trap. I mean, that part was kind of funny because they were like bickering with the girl while they were stuck in this public trap.
Yeah.
So yeah, Saw 3D, and then Saw 3. Because I don't know, that one's just disgusting.
Yeah, that's how I feel about that one too.
And then I put Saw 4, Saw 6, and Saw 2. And then in my top 3 would be Jigsaw.
Oh wow.
2 is Saw 5, and then 1 is the first one.
Okay. I'd like to give some thoughts on the first one. I'm kidding. We just talked about it for over an hour.
Saw 5, I think, had the best, like, the group trap,
Mm-hmm.
where they really should have worked together the whole time, but they were picking each other off one by one.
Yeah, that was a cool twist. I like that.
And then I was kind of biased because Julie Benz is in there, and I like her. She was on Buffy and Angel.
Okay.
And then Jigsaw, I like so much.
Yeah, that's what I'm
because
curious about.
Jigsaw is it just feels different in a good way.
That's why I don't like it.
Like I don't think it really did the relying on gore as much as the other ones did. And I like the twist at the end.
With Logan as the
Yeah,
killer.
I speak for the dead instead of game over.
Yeah. I don't remember that one too much. I'm interested in thoughts if
I wonder.
if I revisit.
Yeah, I really like that one, but I wonder if I like it so much because it's the only one I saw in the movie theater,
Possibly.
and then I haven't seen it since. But I did see it twice.
Yeah, I just saw it once in theaters and haven't seen it since either. I just remember it being like, they tried to revive Saw and it didn't work.
Yeah, I just liked how it felt different than all the other ones, and it almost feels like its whole standalone movie.
That's why I didn't like it because like with the first 7, they're so connected in the story because they were just year to year,
Yeah,
and they're so connected. Like I don't think they recasted any actors or anything, and like it just feels like one massive, cohesive, but it's like one massive story that kind of tricks people into thinking they're smarter than they are because they could follow this like convoluted timeline.
yeah. So we kind of have the same view on that movie. It's just we have different opinion on it.
Yeah. So it's different and you like it for that, and it's different
Yeah.
and I don't like it for that. All right. I'm gonna go from worst to first. I'm gonna go. It's a toss up between my last two. So I will say I'm a bigger fan than you are of this franchise. So like
Yeah.
most of them, it's kind of like when we did the Halloween ranking, where it's
Hmm.
like very few of these I actually like despise.
Yeah.
Because even in the Halloween franchise, like we could watch Halloween Resurrection just because we're fans of the franchise and like laugh at it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like similar for this franchise to me because I'm a bigger fan than you are of this.
Yeah.
Um, so last I'm gonna go Saw 3D just because like at the end it turned into a slasher movie where Dr. Gordon is like killing people in the morgue,
Yeah. And
and
he wasn't really giving anybody a chance to escape. But it's gotten so bad from them having little chance.
mhm. um it's like it was a fan theory since Saw 2 that Dr. Gordon was helping Jigsaw
Mm.
because the guy who is doing the surgery on the guy's eye in the second movie in the very beginning, he has a limp,
Yeah.
and people were like, "Oh, that guy's limping. That has to be Dr. Gordon because he has one leg." And it just felt like since he was gone for 6 movies, it wasn't earned for him to be an apprentice.
Yeah.
Like there are reasons for that because they were going to do Saw 7 and 8, but Paranormal Activity did a lot better than Saw 6 did in the theater, so
Hmm.
they lost money, so they didn't have enough money to do 2 movies, so they made 1 and it was Saw 3D. Um like the pink blood like you said. I don't like the story with the guy pretending he was in a jigsaw trap.
No.
Um yeah, I don't like any of that. Jigsaw is next just because it feels too different. Um the timeline makes absolutely no sense.
Now that's the one
Um
thing I do agree with. I'm not sure where it fits in with the timeline. I was actually trying to figure that out last night, and I gave up.
well, I think the whole entire series takes place within a year.
Mm.
And then we jump 10 years later and that's where Jigsaw takes place.
I guess I would rank the first time they went through that trap as 10 years before because Jigsaw was obviously alive,
Yeah.
and then the rest of it takes place after every movie.
People are using technology in Jigsaw that wouldn't exist in the first Saw, even though they're in like the same timeline. Like
Yeah,
they're roughly the same time period
because
because
he was
Dr.
on a
Gordon has a
computer.
yeah, and Dr. Gordon is using a pager in the first movie.
Yeah.
So like the timeline doesn't match up. But it is funny to see how like convoluted it got at that point where like everybody's an apprentice.
Yeah.
I do understand what they were going for because it's like a cult like mentality
Hmm.
where like Jigsaw has everybody and anybody helping him. But I don't know. It didn't work out. And it was like a weird like one-off attempt to revive the franchise that didn't go anywhere.
Wonder if they'll bring Logan back, or at least hint at him.
I don't know. I'm curious if they're going to hint at Logan or Detective Hoffman. Okay, so next would be Saw 4. I just don't like it.
Yeah,
It's like I don't know, nothing stands out about it to me. It just
I
is what it
agree.
is.
It's just kind of, it feels like a side story, basically. Not a side story, but a prelude
It's supposed to
for
take
the
place the
rest of.
same time as Saw 3,
Yeah,
so it's like Saw 3.5.
yeah, they
Um,
could have just put some of that in Saw 3.
so next would be Saw 3. Um, there's like nothing enjoyable about this movie, and I don't know if it was
Hmm.
intentional, but I mean, from the first trap, you have a guy that I think it was Amanda who was his apprentice at this time, made the trap inescapable. You have
Yeah.
Jigsaw dying in a bed. Entire movie. There's like a hostage has to take care of him. There's a timeline involving like a dead child.
Hmm.
Nothing about it. Nothing, like it's just depressing, and it doesn't have to be 2 hours either.
Yeah. That's
um,
why I think Saw 3 and 4 could have been wrapped up together in one movie, and they could have just made that Saw 3.
yeah. All right. So okay. So I have 4 left. So 4 would be Saw. Which ones do I have left? 1,
2.
2, 5, and 6 I have left. Okay, so next one would be Saw 5, which I just watched. I actually thought it was pretty decent.
Hmm.
Um, I like you said, I do like the twist where the group of 5 had to work as one. As Jigsaw says in
Yeah.
the opening, Trap 5 will become one, and like you think, oh, like only one person's going to get out of here, but it's like no, 5 of you have to become one team.
Yeah. And every trap that could have really escaped.
And we get a lot of backstory with Detective Hoffman and
Yeah.
Jigsaw, like teaching and the bad ways of Detective Hoffman.
Yeah.
Next would be Saw 2. Um, it would have been number 2, but I just rewatched it the other day and did not like it as much as I used to.
Mm.
But it's another one that's still pretty enjoyable. Like I like the ending with Donnie Wahlberg getting trapped in the bathroom. I like the twist where the game in the house was being played, like it was already played and over with, and he was like playing a tape.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
Um,
that too.
so I mean, it's not bad. I just don't like it as much as I thought I did. Number 2 would be Saw 6, which I feel like if this movie was released in like the earlier parts of the franchise and not toward the end, people would like it a lot more.
Hmm.
Once you get 6 movies in, you're just like done with it, and it just
Yeah.
you know. Um, but yeah, this is like when we get the full on feud between Jill and Detective Hoffman,
Hmm.
and she puts him in a reverse bear trap, and he escapes, obviously.
Yeah.
And number 1 would be the original Saw, which we talked about already.
Yeah.
So from worst to best, I went 3D, Saw, Saw 4, 3, 5, 2, 6, 1.
Mm. And then I went 3D, 3, 4, 6, 2, Jigsaw, 5, and 1.
Okay. So yeah. Another thing I forgot to mention about Saw 3D, I did like when Dr. Gordon locks him in the bathroom and he's like chained to the wall. Like Dr. Gordon's first instinct is to just cut off his leg because he immediately goes for the saw.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cool because you just see like how far he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And he was like, nope.
yeah. There's a lot of cheesy 3D in that movie though.
Yeah.
Every movie from that era that was shot in 3D is very dated.
My Bloody Valentine.
'Cause, like it's on HBO Max, I think it's called Saw the Final Chapter because it's not even available in 3D on there.
Mm.
But yeah. Um,
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of 3D movies.
no, me neither. Do you done talking about Saw?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, next week, I don't know when we're going to release the episode, but we're going to go see Spiral next week, and then we'll my dog's excited to see Spiral. Yeah, we'll jump in
And then
and go ahead.
we'll discuss it. We'll probably
Yep.
have, what, a 2-week hiatus?
Yeah, something like that. The wedding is in 2 weeks, so I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know when we'll release the episode. We'll probably do it before that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll release it before the wedding or something.
Because happy things are happening.
You know what I want to do? I want to watch. I want to watch Ready or Not the day before the wedding.
You should. Has she ever seen it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, she should watch it.
Yeah.
Too.
All right, we can jump into our weekly recommendations real quick. Let me cue up the song.
It's time to recommend some things you and me were recommending.
All right, do you have anything you'd like to recommend?
I'm just gonna say, since we've been mentioning it here and there, Dead Silence.
Okay.
If people haven't seen it, I don't know how popular it is.
It's probably his least popular, like James Wan's least popular movie.
Basically, it's Saw, but Ghost. No. No,
Kind of.
It has a similar feel to Saw, but
Ventriloquism and puppets and stuff.
and ghosts, yeah.
It's like you can't, like when you see the ghost, you can't scream or you die.
Yes. It's like
Yeah.
Mary. It's an urban legend in their town about Mary Shaw.
Hmm.
She was a woman who owned puppets. And what happened? I think she didn't she make a child into a puppet or something?
I think so.
And she was really weird.
I think so. I haven't seen it in probably 8 years or so. Maybe I'll watch it soon.
Yeah, so the whole town knows she was shady. So now she haunts the town, and when you see her, you can't scream or she takes your tongue.
Yeah.
And you die.
Also starring Donnie Wahlberg from Saw 2.
Yes. And there's a very Saw-like twist at the end.
Yeah. I will say, I watched Love and Monsters that you recommended last time.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was very good.
That movie was a lot better than they made it seem to be.
Had like a Zombieland feel to it, where it's like post-apocalyptic but funny.
Yeah.
I thought it was very good. I'm going to recommend something very off topic. It's the newest Netflix film. Not the newest, but it's called The Mitchells versus the Machines. It's an animated movie from Sony, the company who made Into the Spider-Verse.
Also
s-
amazing.
It's like a similar animation style.
Okay.
It's about
Yeah, I've heard.
this family's on a road trip, and robots take over the world, and they have to fight them essentially.
Mm,
But it's kind of emotional because the daughter's going to college, and the dad is like trying to connect with his daughter before she goes to college, and then robots take over the world.
okay.
But they're like so detailed with the animation because there's a scene where um like the daughter's texting. You know how like when you text you like hit the wrong button and spell a word wrong, but you just keep going because autocorrect will do it.
Yeah.
Like, it shows her doing that, and it shows the phone
Oh,
correcting
okay.
it. It's just so detailed with the animation.
Mm. Yeah, I do
I don't
want to
know.
see it. I've heard good things about it.
It's very good. It's I don't know. It's one of my favorite movies of the year so far. Um, Judas and the Black Messiah is up there, and Justice League is up there, but
Yeah.
it's top 3 or 4 of the year so far, at least that I've seen. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay.
To the Spider-Verse comes out next year.
Hmm.
To the Spider-Verse 2 comes out next year, by the way.
Oh, good. I was wondering if they were doing a sequel for that because I heard they were, but then I haven't heard anything about it since.
Yeah, I think COVID pushed it back, but we shouldn't be saying on the podcast because podcasts are being like, if you mention that word, they like they don't mute your podcast or something, but it's like um won't show up on like people's for you feed or whatever.
Oh, okay. We'll
Yeah.
just mute that.
But yeah, that's all I got. And we'll do an episode on Spiral coming up. I'm not sure the exact release date of that. I don't know if we'll do it next week or in 2 weeks or something like that. It'll
Yeah.
probably be within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'll keep everybody updated on Twitter and Instagram. Speaking of, you can follow us
Oh,
at Attempted Topics. And you can
what a smooth transition.
I know.
Don't tell everyone did.
And through there you can find our personal social media accounts. And Steven are also on Letterboxd, who just commented in the Discord chat.
Oh yeah, I don't even know if I have a username on there. I think I just signed in with Twitter.
Oh yeah, yeah, you can find us on there somehow.
I'll post my link somewhere.
Yeah, you can find it somewhere. It's in my Twitter bio.
There you go.
Yeah, that's all I got. It's actually been a longer episode than I thought it would be. Because we did a ranking at the end too.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
No.
If not, we'll have I guess we'll look for Blake to sing us out. We'll have Motorhead sing us out Blake's theme song. Alright. Bye.
Bye.
Trying to figure out what my move's gonna be. Come on over, sucker, why don't you ask me? Don't you forget there's a price you can pay.